Photography mistakes beginners don't realize they're making. When most beginners start photography, they expect mistakes to look obvious. Blurry images, bad exposure, poor composition, things that are easy to notice and correct. But in reality, the most important mistakes in photography are not technical. They are subtle, and often, the photographer doesn't realize they are making them at all. One of the most common mistakes is rushing the process. Beginners often focus on producing results quickly. They think in terms of getting a good shot as fast as possible. But photography, especially when it involves people, does not respond well to speed. When a session is rushed, communication becomes shallow. Comfort has no time to develop, and the images often feel tense, even if everything looks technically correct. Another mistake is over-directing. It is natural for beginners to want control, to guide every pose, to correct every detail, to constantly adjust and improve what they see. But too much direction can interrupt natural expression. Instead of capturing a real moment, the photographer ends up shaping a performance. And while the image may look polished, it often loses emotional authenticity. There is also a quieter mistake that is easy to miss: not paying attention to the subject's feedback. Not verbal feedback, but subtle signals. A slight hesitation before moving. A moment of stillness after a direction is given. A change in posture that suggests uncertainty. Beginners often focus so much on their own vision that they overlook these small reactions. But these reactions often tell you more than words ever could. They reveal comfort, or discomfort, clarity, or confusion, and missing them can affect the entire atmosphere of the shoot. Another common mistake is treating communication as one-sided. Photography is often seen as giving instructions, but effective photography is actually a dialogue. When communication becomes only directional, the subject can feel disconnected from the process. They may follow instructions, but without emotional engagement. And that lack of engagement shows up in the final image. There is also a mistake related to expectations. Beginners sometimes assume that good photographs should happen immediately, that every pose should work quickly, that every setup should produce strong results without adjustment. But photography rarely works this way. Even experienced photographers take time to build momentum in a shoot. Good images are often the result of gradual refinement, not instant success. Another overlooked mistake is ignoring the environment. Lighting, space, background, and atmosphere all influence how a subject feels. But beginners often focus too narrowly on the subject alone. When the environment is not considered, the subject carries unnecessary visual or emotional tension. And that tension becomes part of the photograph. Perhaps the most important mistake, however, is misunderstanding what makes an image successful. Beginners often assume success is measured by technical perfection, sharpness, exposure, composition rules, but in reality, the strongest photographs are not defined only by technical accuracy. They are defined by presence, emotion, and authenticity. A technically perfect image can still feel empty if the moment itself was not real. And a slightly imperfect image can feel powerful if it captures something honest. Over time, photographers begin to realize that improvement is not just about learning new settings or techniques. It is about becoming more aware, more patient, more observant of the process happening in front of them, and less focused on forcing results. Because photography is not just about avoiding mistakes. It is about learning to see what those mistakes are really telling you.